Not all spinnerbaits are equal. There's reasons why people swear by certain ones or a certain brand or the custom spinnerbait they make. I'm here to tell you how to build the ultimate spinnerbait to catch bass like never before. Today we're diving into the art of building the perfect spinnerbait for bass fishing. This information is not only for tackle crafters or lure builders, it's for people that are going to the store and buying spinnerbaits. Stay all the way to the end because this information is going to help you know which spinnerbaits are worth your precious money that you've been working hard for. The first thing that I want to talk about is the wire diameter. This portion coming out of the head of the spinnerbait is the wire diameter. The wire diameters that are most popular are 040, 035, and 032. As you go down in number, those wire diameters start to get smaller, which means less durability, but it also means more vibration. Now, depending on what you're going for will depend upon which specific wire diameter you want to choose. Now, in my opinion, the thinner wire diameters are better in many ways. They're going to allow for more vibration, but they're going to be less durable. Now, in my opinion, especially if we're making our own spinnerbaits and we can make them relatively inexpensively, I'm going to sacrifice that durability for more bites because I really believe that that thinner wire diameter allows me to catch more fish and get more bites than a spinnerbait with a thicker wire diameter that's giving off less vibration. Now, when it comes to store-bought spinnerbaits, I think you need to go out, buy a few, check those wire diameters, see for yourself. And I have a feeling that your favorite spinnerbaits, a lot of times are gonna have that thinner wire diameter. Now, you might complain about that spinnerbait saying that it doesn't have the durability that this other one has, but that other one probably doesn't get bit as often because that thinner wire diameter makes a big difference. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about when it comes to a spinnerbait is the blade. The blade is very, very important, and something that I have found over the years is that I think high quality blades are a must. I think that you lose sound, you lose thump, you lose vibration by not having quality blades. I like to use Hildebrandt blades. Those are my go-to. I've caught fish using less expensive blades, but for whatever reason, I always find myself coming back to these Hildebrandts. Now, color is going to be depending upon what forage you're trying to imitate or water clarity. But when it comes to blades, generally speaking, a smaller blade is going to help the bait run deeper, it's going to help it run faster, and it's going to produce less vibration. Larger blades are going to run shallower, and it's going to lift that bait up in the water column. It's going to have better vibration, and it's going to have better vibration at slower speeds as well. Now, there's three different types of blades that are most commonly used with spinnerbaits. It's going to be a Willow Blade, a Colorado Blade, and an Indiana Blade. So on the spinnerbait that I'm holding right here in the video, this blade right here is going to be your Colorado Blade, this blade right here is going to be your Willow Blade, and then an Indiana Blade is going to have a more teardrop style look. Now, all these different blades do different things. They produce different vibration and different types of vibration. Those different types of vibration are what are going to trigger those fish. Depending upon the day, depending upon the conditions, are going to depend upon which blades are going to perform best. So this is going to be a more trial and error type of a situation and more condition-based decision. Now, to help you design your spinnerbait that's specific to the conditions, I'm going to give you an overview on what these different blades do. You're going to be able to reel a Willow Blade a lot faster than you are the Indiana and the Colorado Blade, but that Willow Blade's not going to produce the same vibration or level of thump that the Indiana and the Colorado are going to give off. Now, if you're looking for a spinnerbait that has that ability to stay down in the water column, then you're going to want to go with one that has Willow Blades. Those Willow Blades are going to produce less thump, and it's going to lift the bait less than the Colorado and the Indiana, so it's going to stay deeper in the water column as you're reeling it. So a Colorado blade is going to produce the most thump. Those Colorado blades can be great in dirty water and especially at night. I know a lot of guys that are fishing dirty water and night situations are going to go with one big Colorado on the end of their spinnerbait, and they're just going to slow reel it, and it's great for those fish to be able to find it based on that vibration. Now, some of the drawbacks when it comes to that Colorado blade is you're not going to be able to reel that bait as fast and get good action out of it and good vibration out of it. And you're also not going to be able to fish it down in deep water because that big Colorado blade is going to catch a lot of water. It's going to force that bait to lift up in the water column. An Indiana blade is right in the middle between these two. It doesn't have that blunt roundness that the Colorado has, and it's not as slender as these Willow blades are. The Indiana blade is going to be another one that produces a lot of vibration. It's going to cause that bait to lift in the water column similarly to the Colorado, but not to the same degree. So it's not gonna keep down in the water column like Willow, but it's not gonna rise quite as badly as a Colorado. So it's basically that one right in the middle. Now this is a spinnerbait that I'm throwing 99% of the time, is this Colorado Willow combination. I feel like that allows me to do a lot of things out of one bait. I feel like these gold blades, I think there's just something about gold that a lot of people miss. I think a lot of people are throwing those silver blades, but I feel like those gold blades just give off just a little bit different look, and I think it's helping me catch fish that other people aren't. We're about to start talking about the hook and what I think makes a good spinnerbait hook, but real quick, I want to talk to you about Waterland fishing optics. Waterland sunglasses are great to have out on the boat and off the water. Waterland sunglasses are what I'm wearing around town and on the water both. If you guys watch my content, you know I'm wearing Waterlands all the time. I have these hybrid frames for the off the water situations, and I wear the slanches, ashores, and bedfisher models as well out on the water. All three of those out on the water are great. The slanch is a great frame to do both. Great for on the water and off the water. If you want specifically on the water frames, then those bed fishers and those ashores are gonna be great because they have sides on them that are gonna block out some of that sunlight to really help you hone in and see into that water. If you want to check out all the different frame options and all the different clothing and apparel that Waterland offers, head over to the Waterland website. It's waterlandco.com and use discount code LUNA15. It's gonna save you 15% off your purchases. The next component that we're gonna be talking about are hooks. Hooks are essential to a good spinnerbait. And the reason why is because if you don't have a good hook in there, you're not gonna land that fish after you worked hard and got that bite. If you don't have a good hook in there to get that fish hooked and pinned and in the boat, then your spinnerbait's pretty much useless. It's nice to get bites, but it's better to get those fish in the boat. Now, when it comes to hook size, it really depends upon the spinnerbait that you're making. I generally have a 3/0 hook in all of my spinnerbaits, regardless of if it's a 3/8 all the way up to a 1 ounce bait. I kind of alter the size of that spinnerbait in order to accommodate that 3/0 hook. I feel like that 3/0 hook is right where I want to be. I think you can go up to a 4/0 or even a 5/0 depending upon the scenario. And if you're gonna downsize it and try to make a spinnerbait for like a crappie or something like that, then you're obviously gonna have to downsize that hook accordingly. But I think that 3/0 is a great starting point to build your spinnerbaits around. Now, a couple of really good sharp spinnerbait hooks that I would recommend you guys giving a try are the Victory 40608, that's their round bend, and then they have the Victory 41608, which is their V-lock option. If you're building your own spinnerbaits, hooks can be one of the most costly components outside of the blades. The Hildebrandt blades that I talked about earlier in the video are by far going to be the most expensive part of your spinnerbait build, and then it's going to be the hook. So going out there and finding a good quality hook at a good price is key, and those Victory hooks are going to be perfect for that. Check out that round bend, check out that V-lock, and try whatever one suits you best, or get a couple of both so that way you can give them a try and see which one you like best. I'm partial to that V-lock. When I look at the two, I think that V-lock's really gonna help keep those fish pinned. The last thing that I think makes a good spinnerbait is going to be color. I think color is the last thing that you really need to be worried about when it comes to building your spinnerbait. As long as you're not way out in left field. Now, there might be a place for an orange spinnerbait, but generally speaking, we're gonna keep it around bait fish patterns. That's gonna be bluegill patterns and shad patterns. Now, having said that, there are specific colors that might work perfectly at a particular lake, which is the case for me. I caught my personal best spinnerbait on a red one at the California Delta. The main thing to keep in mind when it comes to color is keep it in the ballpark of your bait fish that you're trying to imitate. If you've got perch, then maybe you wanna have perch colored ones. If you're trying to imitate shad, keep it to the shad patterns. If you're trying to imitate a bluegill, keep it to the bluegill colors. And as long as you're in those realms and targeting the right kind of bait fish for the lakes that you're in, you're not gonna have any issues when it comes to color. Now, the spinnerbaits that you see me use here on the channel are built with do-it molds here in my garage. I use the Ultra Minnow spinner jig mold, and I think it's one of the greatest molds that do-it molds has. If you want to get into tackle making, check out my description of this video. My do-it molds affiliate link is going to be in there along with a product list on what I use to make my spinnerbaits. Use that affiliate link if you're going to go to the do-it molds website and buy anything, so that way they know that I sent you. And if you want to watch me catch my PB on a spinnerbait that I made myself using the stuff that I'm talking about in this video, click on the video right now that's on the screen, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.